How loud is that music for you guys? For me, I don't know if it's just the mic is really great. The headphones are really great. Welcome, welcome. Let me get situated. Welcome to the Constant Companion Theory at Tridactyls. Let's talk Tridactyls. I think you get the gist of what the show is about. What the heck else is there to talk about? Metal balls and he said, she said, and who knows? Got a lot of great comments coming in. Skywatch Signal. Skywatch, one of our winners for the Tridactyl head. Coming in loud and clear. That's good. Always important. That music, I don't know. That music can be, I like it, but. So, thank you all for coming. This is going to be an interesting show. Those of you that have been following along, you know, I do like to, of course, show off a couple things now and then when I can. So let's not forget this piece. Particularly, I think this is one of the better ones. And what do you guys think of this piece is what we should be asking. So let's go to our chat and let's show the chat on the stream. I think this will be a nice little thing here. So what you got to say? I'd like to see your comments on the side here if it's showing up. Is it? I can't tell. But I can always show these comments. Let's see. It was muted. Let's see. Coming in loud and clear. Okay. So why are we showing this? This is a Hongsheng pig dragon. Jade, right? It was this piece and pieces like it. Thank you. Let me just share this from this. Only dude online, huh? You say dude, I'm reminded of Billy Carson. Same dude. It was this artifact and artifacts like it that led me on a journey to the eggs of Artemis, where immediately we can already see one is coming out of that egg. There is a top view of the head. It's coming around the corner at us, almost like the Sphinx. Those big wide heads, or maybe almost like a pharaoh headdress, you might say. Eh? Mm-hmm. So that was the start of the journey. Little did I know that we were going to stumble across some things that may have been unexpected, huh? Looks like an embryo, Jared says. Yeah, let's show that. Little did I know that I was going to stumble across something that's actually not unusual in nature, which is adelphophagy. I don't want to use the other word because I get banned for it. But sibling upon sibling rivalry, because due to the asynchronous development of the eggs, meaning that the eggs are developing at different times than one another, right? Which is weird. The larvae are developing at different stages. I think I read for the Sicilian worms that these things could live within the mother for up to a year. So I say that I use the amphibian parallels, right? Because that's what these are. And that's another wonderful thing of what the archaeology has done. Thanks to those Hongsheng pig dragons, we were able to predict that these beings were amphibians, not reptilians, that they went through a metamorphosis, and that those two things aided me on my journey hunting for baby dragons, because that's what these are. These are the dragons of myth, especially when they're on all fours. They're not big fire-breathing monsters. They're some sort of wise critter. So I think now that we had this wonderful art by Carlos over in the speculative, what was it, speculative evolution group in Facebook is where I found him. And so I coached him on the tail, and I gave him the actual depiction of what I thought was going on here. So those of you that do have access to the DICOMs from Tridactyls.org, again, we are in Luisa, and Luisa is considered to be specimen number 5. We can probably share the comments again. Specimen number 5, they call her J5. So Josephina is considered the holotype on this, and so she is considered. And I guess she hasn't been registered with any sort of zoological ordering of such a thing, but at the very least, Josephina has been a key, and so she is considered Tridactyl number 1. Yeah, there you go. There are centipedes that literally curl up and allow. Yeah, is it centipedes or the Sicilian amphibians, which are worm-like amphibians? So here we are looking at Luisa. Can we move in even bigger? Let's see. A little bit bigger there, and we will take off. We're going to go ahead and we're going to hide the comments again. Always fun to look at those. I think we're even going to hide me. Maybe we shouldn't, because when I find something crazy. So we're hunting larvae today, right? So let's start obviously with the obvious spot is the eggs. And so we're going to zoom in. We have 2 eggs here. Of course, there should be 3. And I don't want to get too out of focus. I want to focus on the eggs here. I don't want to look at this other stuff. But here we have a close-up of an egg. I don't know if I've ever actually looked at this object here. So we got to kind of play with the lighting a little bit if we want to see if we can even eke anything out of that. We might not be able to. That might be it. And sometimes you just have to be satisfied with what you have there. Now, of course, we can move it around a little bit. Oh, you can see if you do it too much, you've just... I'm sure there's probably some medical experts out there, some first-year kid out of medical school who can do this in 2 seconds, right? And be like, oh, look at this. So we're just looking at the eggs, and you can also play with the various depths. And this might not be the best actual scan for the eggs, to be honest. There might be another one that might be more suiting, but look at that as we eke some things out. And so, yes, those dark spots there are a sort of like eyes, is what I understand. Problem is that some of the like in the skull, there are pneumatic chambers, so it makes it look like there's eyes everywhere. So you want to be careful of the pareidolia here. And again, I was fed by the Hongsheng pig dragon, so I knew what to look for initially. So far, nothing too shocking, right, in the eggs. Something down there below. And really, that larger, elongated egg is the one with the... And now I think we're in the egg next to it, to the right of it, I think. Yeah, we went too far out. All right, let's just go one more time into this egg here, and we're going to go to the skull. All right, so you see like 2 black dots there. That could be a face, or it could be 2 profiles of 2 larvae. Oh, what was that? All right, let's get out of the eggs. We're headed to the skull. We can put the comments on a little bit here while we do a little returns. People overlooking this is shocking. Eggs are eggs. That much alone is telling. Right. The eggs are eggs, of course. And I just wonder how many people were expecting to find little baby 2-legged ETs. I was not. Okay, here's the skull, which is infamous for having this supposed connection, this craniocelomic connection from skull to this tube here, which you would think, this canal, you would think that this is some sort of esophagus, digestive throat. I don't think so. It could be some sort of a birth canal because it's been suggested that they're going to have a liquid diet. And if I recall correctly, I think someone had suggested the liquid diet would come in right about here, which is interesting because that's where our fang is going to recess. Let's see if we can find the fang on this by changing our view. Again, we might need a different scan for that. Oh, I see the ear bones. So, oh, there it is. We're moving in on the fang. All right. So again, the fang wall was shocking, and you're not hearing this from the other researchers, if I'm not mistaken. Not to toot my own horn, but they are not talking about this stuff for some reason. I mean, we get it that the talking heads aren't talking about it. But, you know, I would like to put on the record that I have attempted to contact Gary Nolan and send him information. All the guys that did the recent videos on this topic, I've tried to tell them, and I've tried to provide them with really cool content that they could have shown people, and it may have jump-started this discovery process. So we are looking at the skull because, as predicted by the constant companion theory, and because of cosmological beliefs in our culture, such as the Brahma mind-born event, where the gods think beings into life, or Athena from the head of Zeus, this is in our culture. Life from the mouth, if you've seen the were-jaguars or the water jaguars of Mesoamerica, life from the mouth and other events. So, what do we got? What do we got here? All right, so I suggest there are larviforms, and they're either coming in directly through this esophagus, or they are eating their way through the esophagus. Let's get up to there to get into the skull. Now, right here, I've been staring at this big heart-shaped piece here and considering that this itself might be some large. I want you to consider, when we can move on to our next location, that Luisa's body is acting as sort of a coral reef, if you will, where various sized larval forms are taking advantage of this environment to act as predators and to hide from predators. Really like this one here. Now, again, I recognize the feeding form of a I don't know, a bottom feeder, I suppose. So maybe that was part of it. I mean, I can almost just picture them just sort of just creepily nibbling away, and you would probably see them wiggling a bit. So again, probably hard to see, and I apologize, but hey, man, this is not Bigfoot videos. This thing is a couple millimeters in a non-human skull. So, you know, have some patience. But this is a curved head nibbling down like you might see a minnow nibbling at something, or an eel. And then we have a curved tail here, which is why in the mythology, in the symbolism, again, I always say the animals are never the animals in the symbolism. The animal is always about what does it do or how does it look that makes it associated with the Tridactyls. Why? Because the Tridactyls are just cool animals? No, because they're creator beings and considered gods, ancestors, mother goddesses, etc. So this creature is hanging down on the back of Luisa's skull. Now, this back region here is pneumatic. Those pneumatic regions are going to make nice little hidey holes for larvas to burrow into. And there's probably some good marrow in there to munch on too, I would imagine. So in this back region here, there may be And we can look. There's always, there's always one angle. There's always one view that's better than the others. But this is all we're pretty much doing tonight. I will be giving away a Tridactyl head, Josephina, model skull. Sky, I'm still planning on giving it to you in person unless you want me to drop it off. Here's another dark form. Where is this? Is this the same? No, but there's like a dark head looking down. Let's see. And a tail. Wow. See, I'd like to do this with you guys because there's going to be, I know there's going to be ones I haven't seen before. So I think this one I haven't seen before, or at least this angle. So you see this dark mass here, and then there's two dark eyes, and then we can follow a tail upwards, can't we? Look at that. All right, so let's look to the front of the skull real quick before we move on to the next part. Where am I going after this? Where could I possibly be going that's more interesting than the skull? Well, maybe it's not more interesting, but more dramatic. Let's pull out a little bit here. Oh, there's one. So we see a little gray head here. Let's move in. Let's move in. Let's move in. Little gray head, a couple black beady eyes. And again, I see other two holes here. So, I mean, is this just pareidolia? I wish, though, there's just times where I just wish it would just like come in super clear. Okay, we are leaving the skull. Whew. Again, let's look at this comment here. Oh, sometimes my mouse gets crazy and it doesn't know where it is. It's like, what do you think of this comment, gang? Some people talk about beliefs. They say, well, that's what you believe, Ed. This isn't what I believe. This is what I found. Thankfully, Gonzalo and Tridactyls.org, Gonzalo, I always say his name wrong. Thankfully, they gave me access to find these wonderful things. Well, the next thing I'm about to show you, I swear, is it is kind of H.R. Geigerian. Is that his name? Geiger. It is very Geiger-like. It is, I don't know, something from Dante or something of that nature. So obviously, what we have neglected is, if we're talking about something of oviviviparity, that is, the youth are being born within, we didn't even check the torso. So that's the big surprise tonight. If you thought those little snippets of beings were interesting in the eggs and the skull, let's dive into the body and let's think about how this system works. Here we go. We're going in. Cover me. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. We are moving in. And already I'm just seeing something very odd. I hope some of this creeps some of you out, because it did creep me out. So what is that there? The only way to tell really is to move it back and forth. It could just be, again, there is possibility of pareidolia. I am not doubting that. But there also seems to be lots of little eyes and lots of what could be construed as fleshy little things. There's a good one. We are zoomed in really far, huh? I'm looking at this thing here. What is that? Just sort of, again, some sort of Geigerian nightmare down here of what is actually going on in all of this. How many life forms are down here? what stages of development. And if we talk about bringing things back to life, is this where we want to begin? Look at this. What is this? Right here in the middle. You guys see that? It's, you probably feel like, like we're looking for ghosts, right? Or something. That's what they are, though. They're like little spirit beings. And it almost feels like there's just this complex system. Very strange. All right, let's move up the passageways here. How are we doing on time? 7:21. Okay. Do want to make sure we have time to give away a Tridactyl head. We will be giving away and that's not printed, 3D printed. Good. We have somebody who's super creeped out. Thank you. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Yeah, if you want real life horror, if you want something to make your mind real, and of course, if you tell other people about this, they won't believe you. Oh, that's what I suggested. I forgot to tell people. I would get ready to screenshot something at any minute here, guys. You know what I mean? You don't know what is going to show up. I didn't even do a full search. I said, that's enough. There's a lot of masses and strange things happening down there. Of course, I have a light in my eyes too, but the good thing is I have a big television. So I think I'm just putting this on the TV so hopefully it makes it. Oh, look at this. So I was thinking now also, it almost feels like there are some of them that are sort of, I don't know, perched in these things. Like let's look at this too. So if you look here, we can probably see some parts where maybe this central canal was compromised by these things. I mean, is that one now? Is that a profile now? Oh, my head's in the way. You can't even see it. There we go. Are those profiles now? What am I looking at? It's so strange, but it is a very strange, and it makes you wonder a lot of different things. Even this whole canal system that's in the middle here, is this sort of an inspiration for other human cultural things? So this is what I want to look at. I was even suggesting, is this the influence to making the Mesoamerican writing even? These little boxes of strange shapes. Are these things all living in them? Are they waiting for a moment? Are these what we could bring back to life? These youth. And do we want to bring these back to life? Are they already here? So it doesn't matter. I don't know. I just think it's very strange that you can look into these sort of chambers here, or segments, I should say. Okay, now what happened over here? Look at all of this, what's going on. Right? And what's creepy too, sometimes you'll like zoom out and you'll see something else that's like kind of grayed out in the background. Oh, and I try my darndest sometimes just to eke out that image. It's like, please show me something cool, But these little gray blobs are always super encouraging. So here's one here. As we move up the hole, there's one here, one here. So what you do is, again, you try to eke out the image by adjusting the light and the shadows. And you hope that something can. I feel like I haven't really provided anything too shocking, to be honest. Someone did say they were shocked, but we're going right up this canal here and just wondering what lies ahead. Let's go one more time to the torso. Wow. So let's see. Let's not bring these things back. Let's share some of these comments. Forgot to bring myself a water. Quickly, someone. Instacart. Wow. Let's see. Let's look at the comments. I am alien, someone said. That's funny. Yeah, so Gary has, of course, said the big ones are real. And you'll see that what's happening, it's almost like, is this some sort of, is this the slow drip disclosure? I mean, I don't know. Are the conspiracy theorists and Masons, are these people working together because, okay, I'm hoping I just juked everybody and I was just like, screw it. This is what it is, right? Let's dive into this. Let's figure it out. Let's go back to the bottom again and just what's this? Sometimes you can see like just top profiles, which I think is something like nibbling. And again, they're different sizes, so that makes it confusing too, I think. If they were all maybe the same size, then we would know that, like, oh, there's that one and that one, but I don't know. Woo, let's see. I'm trying to get one more. Let's get one more good find in here. Feel free to tell me where you'd like to check out. But look, is this the canal damaged here? And is that a being right there? You know, they have like little Kermit the Frog head sort of thing, except with fangs. I think there was a Kermit who had fangs once, wasn't there? So what I think everyone needs to do is, who has access to the bodies and scans, and I know Gary's calling. I don't know what Gary's calling for. I can't recall the test he wants to do. It just seems like he's waiting for something when he could be doing like this himself. So I just think you need to do some more ultrasounds. It's I mean, that's what it seems like. You just have to do some ultrasounds on more of the tridactyl skulls and bodies and see. Now, what did I do to this? There we go. We're just back up to the head. Let's see. We got some other comments or questions here. Why are you showing my species organs? What if they take over and start? Let's see. Where's that? From All Day Supremo. What if they take over and start breeding the millions? Exactly. Yeah, I don't know how powerful these are and if they can, how far they can evolve or metamorphosis. Let's see this here. It's amazing to have a live view on pushing the boundaries of what's known. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do here. You know, and of course, those of you that have been following along, you can see also, while we're here, we can look at the parietal pineal gland, the third eye complex, and the parietal foramen here. That's the section that separates them for the two, for the organs, to the connecting organs to meet. Let's see. Always good to see if we can eke something else out. Oh, there we go. Right there is probably our parietal eye. Or is that it up there? Yeah, so right now we're up in what I call the section called the kappa. It's that pneumatic region. But of course, since it's a pneumatic region, there's probably baby tridactyls up here. Oh, and geez, and do they get a bonus for eating the pineal gland? Is that like a thing? I imagine too, you know, that what may have happened is these bodies have been around for thousands of years, and the cult of the mother goddess was transferred from continent to continent. And who knows, in their wake, they may have created headhunting cults because the primate humans of the time didn't know what the significance of the head was. And it had power and knowledge. And so if you haven't following along, I suggest that decapitated head is probably an individual and not just some random specimen. You know, there are other, of course, scans we could look at, but it'd be nice if, more people got into this, and then maybe they could also look. And again, if we had better scans, we could probably verify this even more so. I mean, I'm confident. I don't know how confident you are. I mean, look at this thing still. See, like, what is going on here? Is this a giant head or some pareidolia? I see it looks a little bit lighter on my screen than yours, interestingly enough. I didn't realize that. So, yeah. Is that a head? And that's why we see it from these different angles? And that's why it's grayed out like that? So, yeah. So, now what? What to say, what to do? Let me know. Did I convince you? Would you like me to investigate another part of the body that maybe there's something what we didn't fully investigate? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is live, as you said. That's what I was suggesting. If we find something really cool, or if we like, there's what's this? This is very similar to the other one we were just looking at, right? Why do I keep turning that crazy digital like that? Probably there's two buttons. So here's another one, kind of similar, right? And we think we did look at this one before. So yeah, that could be just a larger one for sure. So they're just hunting in this environment. Like, well, there is the analogy of the sand tiger sand sharks are very similar. They go hunting for each other. They'll leave one area of the birth canal to search for another being. There was one I saw. I took pictures of it. Let me just show you the pictures. So that's another thing I can do. We can always go back to the pictures. And then we're going to give away the head. So let's get ready for that. Oh, I like to always show this picture too for everyone who says, you know, they're just hands that were cut off, right? Let's see. That's what, or fingers that were cut off. That's what a hand would look like if the fingers were cut off. So, not quite. Look at this. What is this? This is what I found in one of the those segmented rib areas. You see what I'm seeing here? How very strange. That to me almost looks like some little like fetal being with its little head and its little arms and legs. Almost like I could picture it in a car seat. Okay, here's another face. Mm-hmm. That I caught. Same area. Sort of looking down and to the right. This here might be a profile. Looking to the left. I mean, look at that. Is that a dragon? Are those ridges on the back of its head? I mean, what the heck is going on there? Almost looks like a seahorse. And then again, we have this top view that we just looked at, but maybe now we can get a better look. Oops. Got somebody sort of who's a little bit trolly here, I feel. I can't open this one picture. I don't know why. There it is. So that was the one we were just looking at. It looks like almost like a head looking down. I don't know. It could be pareidolia. What else? One more before we go. I guess just these from previous examples. This is a good shot. This is in Luisa's skull. So you have the serpentine body bending its head over, which it's funny. It's not too different than other ones I found. And here's a nice shot. If you haven't seen this one yet, there's a whole bunch of them in different forms, faces and heads, serpentine bodies, all different kinds. I mean, you can, yeah, it's hard to see. Yeah, you have to squint. Yeah, some of it might be pareidolia. It might be, but it all ain't. It all ain't. So don't throw the baby out with the, the water, as it were. Okay, let's loosen up a bit and let's get into Tridactyl skull giveaway. We need to pull up our numbers for the night. Put that up on the board. Oh, yes. All right. Yeah, I see that, right? What can we do about that? Yeah, we can always, let's see. Oh, he's talking about the Slavic War. Well, that's nice. We're just going to have to block you then. We'll just put you here. Yeah. He's gone. Thank you. No need for that. Okay, so who's here to win a Tridactyl head? If you are, then you might want to pick one of these numbers here. Yeah, exactly. So Jared R is in because there's also Jared Didway, I notice. So Jared, Mr. Rosenthal, you're a return customer. What number would you like? Oh, Gears already won. Yeah, Gears, haven't seen you. You won, buddy. Sky's going to get his hand delivered. Gear, I'm waiting on his address. And let's see. We got Jared R going for 78. We got Lauren going for 44. All right. We got Aaron going for 16 was already come and gone. While you do that, I'll pull up the roll 20. I should just do plugs for roll 20, right? We've started playing Dungeons and Dragons live back in like 2020. COVID hit, and we started playing on roll 20, and I realized how much better it is to play at home in your underwear than to drive somewhere. And that is the truth. So, can we pick two numbers? You cannot pick two. Well, are you already on the clock, Trevor? Is that what you're saying? Are you already on here? You're already on here. Yes, you can pick a second number. We got 39 for Aaron Nunn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if my friends are watching. I learned from being an actor and doing like theater that I would never invite anybody to what I do. Aaron's got 39. Let's see. I feel like I missed somebody. No, that was it. So Trevor's got his 20 now. All right, cool, Mr. Wolf, Trevor Wirewolf. Are you a dwarf by any chance? Okay. Are we ready? Are all the new numbers in? I just realized something. If it's on the roll 20, I can actually play different music. So that's fun. Maybe I should play the roll 20 more often, just so I can play the music, right? Let's see what kind of music. Yeah, it's the other cool thing about the old roll 20. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have any music because it's a different game. Okay, no big deal. All right, let's go back to the music. Okay, we need something cinematic. Okay, here we go. T100. Coming in, number 81. 81. Who is the hot topic? 81. Uh-oh, it says Jared Skywatch. That's confusing. Well, I'm just going to have to say, let's see, UAP Skywatch. Who is that? Is that a different person? Now I'm confused. Help me out, guys. Who is UAP Skywatch? Is that Jared or is that a different number? That's confusing. Let's see. Does UAP Skywatch being anywhere else? I feel like I know UAP Skywatch, don't I? Oh, gosh. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Well, Jared, you know if you picked 81, wouldn't you? It's a confusing situation here. I have two numbers. I have two Jareds. And I don't know who the winner is. So, unless anybody who was here earlier, UAP Skywatch? Well, Skywatch is Skywatch. Oh, that is him. Okay, so he's already won. All right. So that we're just going to count that as he already won. And I'm going to go ahead and roll again. Let's see. Hold on there. Did I just screw that guy's up? Nope. Okay. You guys ready? Jared wins. I think it was my number, he says. It seems like it's right over there with your other cluster of numbers. There's also Jared Didway, though. All right, Jared, you've hung in so long. I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. It said Jared. Jared's here. Why play any farther, right? Congratulations, Jared. Please send me a text message with your address, and I will mail it to you free of charge just for watching. The least you could do is spread the word. This is not a monetized account. You can go to our store. We've got some really fun new stuff at the store. So there's that. So, and again, though, the store costs money. So really, it's a weird thing. I don't know. I didn't want to be a t-shirt salesman all my life. But here it is. So you can go and buy some cool products if you want to get involved and be a part of the discovery. Let me know if there's something you don't see. We can add it to the store. You can see we have our old logo. We have 3 different characters. We even have some symbolism up there. Somebody bought our Cobra set shirt. That was cool. And again, we have sold things because I put the stuff out there because I just figure I want to, let's same with the heads. I want to be a part of, it's like fandom. If you like Star Wars, you want to buy the Toyota. Haha, Toyota. Anyway, I think that's a wrap. No problem, Jared. Again, you've been coming to the show and you've been interacting, so you deserve it. And you've picked a lot of numbers, so that's fun. And I'd rather give it to somebody who deserves it. So, what's coming up in the future? We're going to probably keep going back to Luisa. I don't know if we're going to get better images. Unfortunately, I have Alberto. Maybe Victoria has. We could check Victoria to be safe. Victoria might still have some in it, even though her head was cut off, likely to extract these things. Alberto's ear, his inner ear, which is like down here, was replaced up to here. Artemis had all those operations. Again, why? Now, this is an early theory I had with Artemis. I said there was probably complications with the hybrid birth. I don't know. Are these things supposed to just go to a canal? Are the eggs supposed to be are the eggs supposed to be in the birth canal? Is that another just, these are mutations, right? Sick. All right. I think that's good for now. I have a paper coming out. It is formatted to a specific journal, scientific journal style. It's really more of, I guess they call it a manuscript, because it is like 47 pages, but it's not like 47 pages like a book report from school. It's formatted like a magazine. So it's like 47 parts of a magazine page. Yeah, very cool. I thought we'd get serious tonight and understand what we're dealing with here. Spread the word. People don't believe this. People still think the little ones are fake. Is that wild? Can I prove it to you anymore that they are certainly not? I think the majority of researchers focused on the larger hybrids. They knew it was an easy flag, an easy field goal kick, that they could prove that these things were real. And that's what they wanted to do. Everyone agrees they're real. Okay, we can argue if they're human or not afterwards. But for me, I read the Miles report, a paleontologist, and I did see Zalsi Benitez also give his testimony to his Congress that these things are real. And I just been off running ever since. And the archaeology predicted that they were amphibians, predicted that they would go through a metamorphosis, predicted that this metamorphosis would be forelimb first. All right. Thanks for watching. Live long and prosper. Let's keep up this information here. That's all it's about, is getting the information out there.